Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another cook with me and we are making chicken stew. I'm so excited to share this with you. It is so easy, so quick, and doesn't need much attention, honestly. It is just a delicious, easy meal to make for lunch or dinner or just as a feel-good in this fall cold season. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Also, give it a try and let me know in the comments what you think about it. It is fantastic and my family loves this. So what we're gonna need is a package of chicken stew mix. We are getting some vegetable oil. 4 chicken thighs is what I used, but you can use whatever you like in chicken. An onion, and this is like a smaller onion. Some carrots and some potatoes. I'm beating myself there. So some potatoes, some carrots, and then some celery. You're also going to need a peeler if you want to peel. I peeled my carrots and my potatoes, but you don't have to peel the potatoes. And then you also need a nice sharp kitchen knife for all of your chopping. So here I am starting with the onion. I just want to get this chopped first because it is going to go in with the meat to brown before I actually put it into the pot. So we are going to start there. And I also didn't mention you're going to need a skillet as well as a pot for this recipe because we're going to use the skillet to brown the chicken and the onion first, and then we will add it to the pot with the soup. I did dice this onion, but I diced it fairly large. I wasn't really concerned about the size of it because I do like my onions a little bit bigger when they're in soups. So I am going to head to the skillet and I'm adding the vegetable oil to it. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion and then the chicken thighs. Like I said, I did 4 chicken thighs just because I had them pre-portioned out. It turned out to be a perfect amount of chicken, honestly, so I would recommend that. If you guys were making this recipe, that is more than enough. And then I'm just going to turn this on to medium-high and give it a little bit of time to brown and have the chicken cook through before I proceed further. While the chicken and the onion are browning in the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and peel and chop up my carrots. So while the chicken is in the skillet with the onion and it is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and take this time to chop up some carrots and peel them as well. And I had a heck of a time chopping up some of these vegetables today. These carrots especially, they were going everywhere because I was just distracted. This is during the time when my daughter is sick. She is still actually currently sick and we're kind of getting her through it. I'm hoping she's on the tail end of it, but we are getting there. So these carrots end up flying everywhere, and yeah, I thought I'd leave this in there because it's pretty embarrassing, but it's kind of funny. Now that the chicken is browned and the onion has browned as well, I'm going to go ahead and shred the chicken. I like to do this. I like the way it comes out in soups when I shred the chicken, but you do have options here. You could dice the chicken before putting it in the pan or afterwards, whatever your preference is, and just do it that way, or however you really want. You could do it, I don't know, you can do it however you'd like, but like I said, for the consistency of the soup, I really wanted this chicken shredded, so I'm shredding it before I add it to the pot. So now that the chicken is shredded while it was warm and it's done cooking, I'm gonna go ahead back to what I was doing, which was peeling vegetables and cutting them up and getting them ready to put in the soup. So like I said, you don't have to peel your potatoes, but to my family's preference, we like to have our potatoes peeled for soups, unless it's like a potato heavy soup, like say like a potato cheddar soup, then I'd like the skins. But we're going to just peel all these potatoes and then we're going to dice them up and get them put in the pot. Alright, so now I'm just going to do the same thing I did with everything else with the celery. I'm going to pick out my stalks, give them a quick rinse under the tap, get them cleaned, and then just cut off the ends and then just chop up the celery as normal. Now that all the veggies were in the pot, I just decided to do a quick little mix of everything just to start the soup off with everything kind of intermixed because it was very separated at that point. So giving it a quick shuffle around before I put the chicken on top. And now we're going to add the chicken and the onion and just try and give it a little bit of a mix there too. My pot was a little bit too full at this point. I think I did use a little bit too much of veggies this time, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out anyway because there was just a lot of stuff in the soup and it was really good that way. So we're gonna go ahead now and actually make the chicken stew packet. So at this point I'm going to grab a measuring cup full of water and I am adding in the VH chicken stew packet. And I'm just going to take a whisk and whisk this together and pour it into the pot. And I'm going to turn the pot on to high so that it can start cooking. Now, the one thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this video, which is completely optional depending on how you like your soup, if you add less veggies and make it a little bit less of a soup, you could go with just the packet. And that's just the packet with 2 cups of water and mixing it together, and that would be enough. You would just like not have as much of a like a liquidy soup. It would be more of a vegetable filled soup with like no broth. But what I do, because I actually really like it to be a real soup, is I added a box of chicken broth to this recipe and it turned out absolutely amazing, guys. So you have your option there, but I do highly recommend to just buy a box of chicken soup broth and have it on hand just in case you may want to add some more later. So now it's at a boil and it is cooking very nicely. We are getting to the close point of where the soup would be done. It has been cooking on high, and then I turned it down to medium high after it started boiling a little bit too high. It's been cooking for about 40 to 50 minutes at this point, and that's when I'm noticing that these vegetables are starting to get tender. You'll notice that the potatoes are starting to kind of start falling apart, and the carrots are floating, and you'll also see like the textures in the broth as well, like everything's cooking together and mending well. So I'm gonna go ahead and serve some up. I'm so excited to have that this bowl was for me. And actually Lauren ate this night as well, and she absolutely loved it. So I hope this recipe is super inspirational for you guys for fall, and it just gives you that nice cozy vibe at home. It is wonderful. I highly recommend you guys definitely try this out. This could also be done in the slow cooker, so if you want to consider that as well, that would actually be a pretty cool thing to try. So this is just a little clip of Lauren eating her dinner that she loved. It was just the chicken stew pieces, but I'm really glad you guys stopped by. I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.